So let's start. I'll share my screen so that let's start. Gopinath मम निवेदना शृणु বিষয়ীদর্জনা সদা কামারত কিছু নাহি মোরা গোরা গোপীনাথ. So we will sing one para and we will see what is the translation. This is a song by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So the first, this line song meaning is, O Gopinath, Lord of the Gopis, please hear my request. I am a wicked materialist, always addicted to worldly desire, and no good qualities do I possess. Gopinath, Amara Bharasa Tumi, তোমার চরণে লইল শরণা তোমার কিঙ্কর আমি গোপীনাথ মম নিবেদনা শুনো বিষয়ী দুর্জনা সদা কামারত কিছু নাহি মোরা গুণা গোপীনাথ কেমনে শোধিবে মোরে না জানি ভাকতি কর্মে জড়ামতি পড়েছি সংসার ঘোরে গোপীনাথ সকলি তোমার মায়া নাহি মা বাবলা জ্ঞান সুনির্মলা স্বাধীন নাহে কায়া গোপীনাথ নিয়ত চারণে স্থান মাগে পামারা কাঁদিয়া কাঁদিয়া করো হে করুণা দামা গোপীনাথ তুমি তো সকলি পারো দুর্জনে তারিতে তোমার শকতি কে আছে পাপীর আরো গোপীনাথ তুমি কৃপা পারবার জীবের কারণে আসিয়া প্রপঞ্চে লীলা কইলে সুবিস্তারা গোপীনাথ আমি কি দোষে দোষী আসুর সকালা পাইল চরণা বিনোদ থাকিল বসে গোপীনাথ মম নিবেদনা শুনো বিষয়ী দুর্জনা সদা কামারত কিছু নাহি মোরা গুণা গোপীনাথ গোপীনাথ হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Gurudeva, Jayo Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jayo Gurudeva, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. So we'll do the Mangla Charan and then we will come to the translation. Sorry, I thought that the spirit of the song would go if I'm stopping in between. So I just, sang the entire song. So we will come to the translation. But before that, we will do the Mangla Charan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatamritam Tam Sajivam Sadhitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nitamascha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusti Devi Pranamami Hari कांशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्याधीशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पौर्यं धावति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरिं तत्सत् So who all joined today? Just Mamta, Haribala, Mageshwari, Narmada, Kami, Jeevika, Vani, Shivaranjani, Sneha. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. I know few of you are having even your exam, Nectar of Instruction, this Sunday, but still we joined, and many of you have a um, offices, family, and still you all took out time today and joined the session. That's amazing that you have so much of interest to hear about Krishna. And actually, this is what is needed, that the more we hear about Krishna, the more we get attached to Krishna. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to glorify the Lord in my own capacity. So we will read the translation. O Gopinath, Lord of the Gopis, please hear my request. Okay, anyone would like to read, because from that time I am only speaking. Anybody would like to read?
Can I read?
Okay.
Can I read, Mataji?
Yeah, please read. You can see my
Oh,
screen.
Gopinath. Yes, Mataji. Oh, Gopinath, Lord of the Gopis, please hear my request. I am a wicked materialistic, always addicted to worldly desires, and I have no good qualities I do possess. Oh, Gopinath, you are my only hope, and therefore I have taken shelter at your lotus feet. I am now your eternal servant. O Gopinath, how will you purify me? I do not know what devotion is, and my materialistic mind is absorbed in fruitive work. I have fallen into this darkness and perilous worldly existence. O Gopinath, everything here is your illusionary energy. I have no strength or transcendental knowledge, and this body of mine is not independent and free from the control of material nature. O Gopinath, this sinner who is weeping and weeping begs for an eternal place at your divine feet. Please give him your mercy. O Gopinath, you are able to do anything, and therefore have the power to deliver all sinners. Who is there that is more of a sinner than myself? O Gopinath, you are an ocean of mercy. Having come into this phenomenal world, you expand your divine pastimes for the sake of the fallen souls. O Gopinath, I am so sinful that all the demons attained your lotus feet, Bhakti Vinoda has remained in worldly existence.
Thank you, Ashmita. Okay. So we will go to the Bhagavad Gita, today's verse, that is 2.63. Can you see the screen from the Veda base, which I have opened now?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Actually, it is a continuation verse from the previous class, that is 2.62. And can we read the both together? Wait, we will read the both the shlokas together. Only the shloka and the translation. ध्यायतो विषया पुंसा Sangasteşupajayate. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Kamat krodhobhijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Smriti bhramshat buddhinasho. Buddhinashat pranashyati. Anybody would like to read the translation of 62 and 63? You can raise your hand. Okay, Shivaranjani and Haribala. Okay. So Shivaranjani, can you read 2.62 translation, and Haribala, can you read 2.63? Okay. Okay.
While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises.
Okay, Haribala.
From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool.
Did you understand the continuation? What is written? So first, what happens when we contemplate the objects of the senses? So what happens? Our senses are there, right? We have how many senses? Anybody? How many senses are there?
9.
Five gross
5.
senses. Five gross senses and one subtle sense, but then five gross senses. So what are those? Eyes, ears, mouth, and then tongue, and then skin. All those things are the senses. So the objects of the senses are what? The eyes, what it likes to see, the ears, what it likes to hear. So what happens is that we start contemplating on those objects of the senses. That means we see something very beautiful. Maybe I'm just talking with what the eyes are seeing, or we hear something very nice, something which is pleasing to our senses. And when we see them, we start thinking about those things. For example, the vivid example of that is, mm, say, for example, your friends are going to Ooty, or they have went already to the Ooty, and they posted pictures on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere, and you saw them and you start thinking, oh, when will I go? Oh, these people are always going outside. So when will I go? You start thinking. And thinking, what happens? A person develops attachment for them, and you start hankering for it. Like, when will I go? When will I have this money to go? Or when will I get permission from my parents to go there? Right? It may be in the other way also. Maybe you saw a reel for going to Vrindavan and you developed that attachment. But I'm just giving a gross example, a materialistic example, so that we understand that where we want to transform our heart. Of course, we always do not think every time 24 hours, we do not think devotional, right? We do have some uh, inclination, some lusty desires, some inclinations are there. And that's what we are discussing today, so that we can work out on those aspects of our life where we need improvement. So what happens? So we start contemplating on these things, and slowly we get attached to that thing. And from such attachment, what happens? Lust develops. Lust means what actually? Can anybody, last class you had this particular session, but can anybody enlighten me that what is the meaning of lust that you heard in the previous class?
It's a very intense desire, Mataji,
Okay, intense desire for what?
to attain that sense object.
To attain the sense object. Okay. Any other answer? Haribala, Mamta, Narmada, Jivika. Anybody? Any other answer?
Mataji, desire to attain the materialistic things, deep desire which we want to get it, we want to attain it no matter what happens, like that.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, lust means that an intense desire to gratify the senses. And that intense desire is such a desire that uh, it crosses even to that stage that for attaining that sense gratification, one can harm others, or one can destroy others also, and they just want that thing. They do not they not like we want that thing, and we do not care that who will be who will be who will be in problem because of me attaining that particular thing. For example, any scriptural example can anybody give, that who had that such lusty desire that he was ready to even ready to go to any extent, harm anybody to get to have the sense gratification.
Ravan.
Yes, exactly, Ravana was the, example of the lust. He was lust embodiment, that he went to that extent that he even stole the concert of Sita Devi. Actually, it is mentioned that around 28 or 30 ladies he had actually abducted, and those ladies were actually captured in the Lanka. So those ladies were, some of them were the wives of great sages, and those people, they had actually cursed him that if you try to forcefully try to have association with any man, your any woman, all your heads will destroy. So that is the reason he didn't try to do anything to Sita Devi. But actually, if you see, this Ravana tendency is there even now. People, they do rapes and everything. Why? Because they have this intense lusty desire which they are unable to fulfill. And they unable to fulfill means actually lust is never fulfilled. Lust can never be fulfilled, because lust is such a thing, just that like the Prahlad Maharaj describes, like you have some itching in your skin and you itch. And what happens? Your own skin is coming out. So lusty sex desire is like that. And, so that was never satisfied. But then in this, now this lust is more or less, we talk about the sex desire, but then if we see, lust also means that somebody who is that lusty enough that he wants even other sense objects also, he wants to satisfy. Maybe the greed to become the most powerful person, and in that he becomes so lusty to attain that particular power or particular thing, that he starts harming others. So that is actually very dangerous. So that leads to what happens when our lust is not fulfilled. That kind of lust, which is intensely looking after the sense gratification, and when that lust is not fulfilled, what happens? Anger arises. And actually, if you see in the modern times, like you may have seen many girl and the boy. If the girl is leaving the boy, either the boy suicides, or if the girl is leaving the boy may do some harm to the girl, or they may try to destroy that girl, do something with her character. So many things are happening in this world, right? But there is a difference between a lust and love. The love does not exist in this material world, actually. There is always this love. The whatever we see in this material world is nothing but the perverted reflection of the real love which we have for Krishna. Actually, all of us, it is Prabhupada tells often in his translation and purpose that we all have that inborn love for Krishna. We all have that love for Krishna. The dormant love for Krishna is always there. But then what is happening? It is in the like Prabhupada describes in the purport of this verse, not this verse, I think in a different verse. So Prabhupada tells there that how we all have that particular love, the dormant love for Krishna in our heart. But what happens when the soul comes in touch with this material world, that love for Krishna is transformed into lust. Because for love for Krishna means what? Love means, the meaning of love is what? So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, so there is a very beautiful verse which describes the difference between the lust and the love. So Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tare Boli Kama Krishnendriya Priti Ichha Dhare Prema Nama. The desire to gratify one's own senses is kama, lust. But the desire to please the senses of the Lord, Krishna, is prema, love. So when we desire to gratify our senses, that is lust. But when we try to gratify the senses of the Krishna, that is told as love. So the lust which we have, it can be transformed. When we transform, like we all, if we want to develop, if we want to have that attachment for the Lord, or if we are desiring for advancement in Krishna consciousness or reach the supreme personality of Godhead, then one thing which is very important for us is that we have to transform that lust to love. Now, as of now, all our senses which is there, it is desiring for its own satisfaction. The eyes wants to see what I want to see, what I want to see good. Anything which is palatable for me or fair. If you see, all our mentality is that anything in this world, we always try to see what is there for me in this particular thing. When we see some sense object, like when we are seeing anything, we are seeing, is there any profit for me? Right? That is where we are in the selfishness. Like we are thinking, okay, where I can gain anything. I want to hear only those things which will be pleasing to me. For example, I want people to glorify me. I want people to talk in such a way that is always in my favor, right? It is in my favor. So that is what I want to hear. And if somebody talks anything which is unfavorable, which is not what I want to hear, what do? I become agitated, I become angry, or I'm very upset because that is not what I wanted to hear or what I want to see. If I see something very filthy or I see something which is undesirable to my heart, then my heart starts breaking. Correct, right? So all these things are what self-centered things, right? All what we are what platform we are in is now is that self-centric. But then love is different. Love is the journey from selfishness to selflessness. That is when we want to do something for Krishna. When we are doing this devotional service, what do? We are doing without any expectation that what we will get from the Lord. Rather, what is the pure devotional service? It does not see what is there for me. Rather, it says, how can I serve Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? So we'll read we will read the purport of this particular verse and we will see that yes, we do have these propensities, that is lust is there in us, anger is there in us, right? So next translation is this only, right? When the lust is not fulfilled, what happens? Anger arises. And then when anger arises, what happens? We completely become delusion. Our mind is not working. For example, you will see many, if you go to a jail and you will see some murderers or you will see some people who are doing crime, many of them will tell one similar thing then. So when I get angry, when I was angry, I don't even, my intelligence didn't work and I did this mistake. Most of them will tell this thing that when I am angry, I don't know what I am doing. Correct, right? And that is what happens when somebody is angry, when the lust is, that intense lust is there and it is not fulfilled, what happens? it is changed into, then that intelligence is gone. For example, we see even those examples we must have seen in news. It comes when the man comes to know that the wife is with somebody else. So either the man goes and kills the wife, or the wife, because of having such lusty desire for a recently there was an incident. The woman, she got married to her husband, and instead of like they just got married, went to the honeymoon, and she killed her husband in the honeymoon itself. It came in the news also. It is just 2-3 months back it happened. She killed her husband because she was in affair already with someone else. And just to gain that money from her husband, so she killed her husband and then she went out, right? But later she was caught and the story came out. But see, this is how the lust, when this unfulfilled or this intense desire for sense gratification is there, we completely forget. When our lust is not fulfilled, what happens is anger arises. We become completely in delusion. And because of delusion, our memory is lost. And when memory is lost, intelligence is gone. When intelligence is gone, then what happens? We do what we are not supposed to do. And actually in the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is talking again about lust, because there Arjuna is asking that why is so that the living entities are still doing a mistake? Like what is that one thing that is the reason why why people are forcefully doing anything wrong? Why they are doing the sinful activity? Right? Why? What is making them do? And that's where Krishna tells that the lust is the only reason why people are doing the wrong things. So the verse is that, 1 minute. Kama esha, krodha esha. 1 minute. Not kama esha, krodha esha. It is okay. I forgot the meaning of that, the Sanskrit of that particular verse, but let me just open because I'm remembering the half verse. Rajoguna samudbhavaha. Samudbhavaha. Yeah, it is the chapter 3, verse number 37. So there Krishna tells that Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajoguna samudbhavaha, Mahashano Mahapapma, Vidhi enam, itit, Vidhi enam, iha vairinam. So that means he's telling, the Lord said that it is a lust only, Arjuna, which is born of the contact with the material modes of passion and later transform into wrath, which is all devouring sinful enemy of this particular world. So here Krishna is telling that this lust and anger are the greatest enemy of a living entity. So what do we do if they are so difficult? Then what do we do? So here Prabhupada is telling a very simple solution of how can we overcome this lust and anger. So Srila Rupa Goswami has given us this direction. Prapanchikatya buddhaya hari sambandhi vastunaha mukshibhi parityago vairagyam falgu kathayate. Can anybody read the translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Narmada. Please read, not translation, this purport.
Okay. Okay. By development of Krishna consciousness, one can know that everything has its use in the service of the Lord. Those who are without knowledge of Krishna consciousness artificially try to avoid material objects, and as a result, although they desire liberation from material bondage, they do not attain to the perfect stage of renunciation. Their so called renunciation is called falgu or less important. On the other hand, a person in Krishna consciousness knows how to use everything in the service of the Lord. Therefore, he does not become a victim of material consciousness. For example, for an impersonalist, the Lord or the Absolute, being impersonal, cannot eat, whereas an impersonalist tries to avoid good eatables. A devotee knows that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and that he eats all that is offered to him in devotion. So, after offering good eatables to the Lord, the devotee takes the remnants called prasadam. Thus, everything becomes spiritualized, and there is no danger of a downfall. The devotee takes prasadam in Krishna consciousness, whereas the non devotee rejects it as material. The impersonalist, therefore, cannot enjoy life due to his artificial renunciation. And for this reason, a slight agitation of the mind pulls him down into the pool of material existence. It is said that such a soul, even though rising up to the point of liberation, falls down again due to his not having support in devotional service.
Thank you, Narmada. I just want all of you to tell one point, what you understood from this particular purport. Haribala, any point you want to tell?
Like even a slight thing can trigger us, and we can lose our uh, calmness and become angry, and this will get us into trouble.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada writes very specific things about a devotee, how a devotee controls all his agitation towards the sense object. Mageshwari,
Mataji?
yes, what does Srila Prabhupada tell here? How can we control our sense agitation as a devotee?
Like
Prasadam.
offering prasadams and food items and giving it to Krishna, and we'll
So,
distribute
what
it.
will happen if we do that?
We'll become more spiritualized.
Correct, exactly. When we start our focus, see, we cannot stop our activity of the senses. Like we cannot stay without eating. We have to eat something. But instead of eating anything which is sinful, what we do? We offer the food to the Lord and we eat that. And then what happens? Since we are eating something very spiritual, our our that senses, our tongue gets spiritualized. We want to hear glorification. So instead of hearing glorification of us, we can hear to the glorification of the Lord, or we can hear Krishna Katha. So our ears will get spiritualized. We want to see something very beautiful. Correct, right? So instead of seeing ourselves in the mirror, we can see always Krishna. Like we can think that, okay, how great is Krishna? Right? Krishna is so beautiful. If we see anything beautiful, we have to see that it is nothing but because the Lord is so beautiful, and that is why He had made everything else so beautiful. So Lord is the most beautiful person, most attractive person. So when we see the Lord, our eyes gets purified. Actually, eating prasadam is a um, very important thing. Actually, just by eating prasadam once, all our senses get spiritualized, and slowly our heart gets purified. We want to do more devotional service. Actually, regarding lust, so today I'll speak about two things of how to transform our lust and transform our anger. Actually, if you see, transforming ourselves is important. But how do we transform? Transforming only our actions is not only important. Transforming our intention is also important. Because Krishna consciousness is all about intention. What intention we have. When we are offering something to the Lord, or when we are preparing prasadam for the bhoga for the Lord, all of us, we want to, if you see, even after practicing Krishna consciousness for many years, still this becomes as a ritual that, okay, I have to cook, I have to eat, okay, this I have to cook, this I have to do. But then that when that is purified, instead of doing mechanically something, when we do mechanically even our devotional service, that becomes a ritual. Instead of doing anything spiritual, we start doing ritualistic activity. So instead, if we think, oh, this food which I'm going to prepare, I'm going to offer it to the Lord. Just before I start cooking, I can meditate that what for I am doing, for the Lord I am doing. So please, Lord, empower me, or Raja Rani, please bless me so that I can prepare some nice prasadam food for both of you, for Bhoga, for Radha and Krishna. So if we can think in that way, our intentions are purified. Right? So when our intentions are purified, automatically we can control all these agitation which are coming out of the senses, from the senses. So there is a very beautiful example, not in the scriptures, of Vilva Mangal Thakur. How many of you have heard about Vilva Mangal Thakur? You can raise your hands. Okay, Mamta, you are aware of 4 participants have raised your hands. Who all I cannot see. Cannot. Okay, Mamta, Shivaranjini, and Narmada. Because you all have heard about Vilva Mangal Thakur, right? So who was Vilva Mangal Thakur? Vilva Mangal Thakur was a very exalted Brahmana of South India. So what was he doing? He was actually born to a Brahmin family, but somehow, again, if you see, these two verses are applicable for his life, because he was uh, he was very attached to one of the prostitutes, but her name was Chintamani. So he was very attached to Chintamani, and even once what happened is that his father, after a few days, was very attached to Chintamani. He used to go to meet Chintamani very regularly, not regularly, every single day. He cannot stay without Chintamani. So one day, what happened is that his father passed away, and his father passed away. The funeral had just got over, but since he was so attached for sense gratification with Chintamani, that at the middle of the night, it was raining after the cremation was over. It was heavily raining, but still he wanted to go to meet Chintamani. So there was a river which he had to cross to go to meet Chintamani. So it was so pathetic, that rain, that there was no boat, and no boatman was ready to carry him to the other side of the river. So what he did, he finally started swimming in that particular river. And when he was swimming in the river, there was a dead body which was floating. So he took the help of the dead body, floating dead body, and he reached the other side of the river. Once he reached the other side of the river, he came to Chintamani's house. And Chintamani's house was so locked, and the rain was so tremendous. It was so furiously it was raining, that even if you would have knocked, Chintamani could not have heard, because she was locked inside. And as you know, it's the middle of the night and you're sleeping and it's raining heavily. If somebody is knocking your door, now so we have calling bells, but those times, that somebody is knocking your house, you will not even know that somebody is knocking your house if it is so heavily raining. So she could not hear, and then finally what he thought, okay, let me climb to Chintamani's house. For climbing Chintamani's house, he started finding a rope, and he could not find, but he saw something is hanging from the balcony, like, from the balcony of that house. It is something is hanging. So it was a snake actually, which was hanging. So what he did, he didn't knew that it's a snake. He took the help of that particular rope, and when he climbed up, then only he understood that it's a snake. It's a dangerous, venomous snake which was there. But still, he risked everything. First of all, he risked his life by crossing the river. Now he was risking again his life, for coming to Chintamani's house, for climbing Chintamani's house. And finally, he reached Chintamani. So when he reached Chintamani, he was so happy. But Chintamani was rather astonished. Chintamani said a very, profound statement to Bilva Mangal Thakur, which changed the entire life of Bilva Mangal Thakur. He said to Vilvamangal Thakur that I'm just thinking how attached you are to me. My body is completely made out of bile, mucus, cough, and stool and urine. So you are very attached to this particular temporary body, which is anyway going to get diminished one day. I wish if you could have had a little attachment for Krishna, then your life would have been successful. You are simply wasting your human form of life, being you by wasting your life behind me. But if you had that attachment for the Lord, then your life would have been successful. Think, he had so much risk he took for coming to Chintamani. Rather, if somebody takes a risk for reaching the Lord, I from today onwards I will not do anything which is unpleasing to the Lord. My life is completely dedicated to the Lord. My life and soul is the Lord. If somebody thinks in that way, the way, to the extent Vilvamangal Thakur was ready to risk his life, I'm just having an, corollary between that particular pastime which happened and what is happening in our lives. If we have that intense desire, instead of having that intense desire for sense gratification, if we have that intense desire to serve the Lord, then what will happen? Then why not? Why can't we reach the Lord? And this is the example of how lust is transformed to love. So we all can, when we are like we return to, when we understand that, okay, instead of sense gratification, how much effort I'm giving for this sense gratification, with that much effort if I can give for the service of the Lord, then my life would be successful. And what happens, Vilvangal Thakur takes this particular statement of Chintamani and he goes to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan also, one day he sees a woman and he is and he starts getting reminding he starts he starts getting reminded of Chintamani again. So like how we have some bad habits, right? And it's very difficult to get rid of bad habits. Like we have so much of desire for sense gratification. Isn't it very difficult to get out of that desire for sense gratification? Like we have done this from births together. And when it comes to this life, immediately how will it go? So similarly, when it was for Vilvamangal Thakur, he was not able to come out of his lusty desires even after going to Vrindavan. So he went to that lady and he said that, please give me your hairpin. And he took that hairpin and he poked his own eyes and he removed his eyes because that eyes were the reason why he was getting distracted. Actually, we do not recommend here that you do something extreme like that of Bilvamangal Thakur. It's a caution. Please do not try all these things. If you have any such desire, don't try to do all these things. Rather, the example is the lesson that we take over from that particular incident is that how can we how can we instead of thinking that stopping the senses, we have to see that how can we spiritualize the senses. That's what is mentioned as Srila Prabhupada's purport, that we have to see the senses are the reason why we are going toward, why we are doing this lusty, why we have this lusty desire. So instead of, we have to we have to be careful about these three organs. First is eyes, ears, and tongue. And Prabhupada tells that Sevan Mukhihi Jivado. If we want to conquer the tongue, then we have to engage in two things. What we have to engage? First, eat Krishna Prasadam, and second is chant the holy names of the Lord. And how to control our ear? By hearing to Krishna Katha. How can I control my eyes? By seeing the beauty of Krishna, or seeing the deity form of the Krishna, or seeing those particular reels, or those, if you become more practical in today's age, if you want to spiritualize your senses, then whatever you see in the phone, see, most of the content that we are grasping in this modern India, modern world, is through the mobile. through mobile and through friends and all those things. So have association with those kind of people who will remind you of Krishna, or who will at least not harm your Krishna consciousness. Or when you are seeing anything on the mobile, at least try to watch the devotional content as much as possible. Try to see devotional content. Otherwise, don't see at least those content which will make you away from Krishna. That you have to, what you have to do, you have to make your mind strong. And how will you make your mind strong? By making your intelligence strong. And how will you make your intelligence strong? You can make your intelligence strong by regularly chanting the holy names and reading the scriptures. If you are controlling lust, then immediately the second thing, that is anger, can be controlled. See, anger is just one word less than the danger. So if you want to spiritualize anger, or you want to transform your anger, then you have to approach a devotee, and under a devotee's guidance, you have to do a devotional service. For example, Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj had an intense anger because he was stopped from being sitting on the lap of his father. So what happened? He said that I will go to, his mother told that, okay, go to the forest, there the Lord is there, and the Lord will fulfill your desire. Because he had a very big desire to have a kingdom even greater than his great grandfather, that is Brahma. Right? Actually, though that's such a thing, if you see, even abode which is greater than Brahma is Vaikuntha. So Krishna lives over there. Right? And to get that particular thing, that means he is desiring to have something which is something which the Lord is having. And in order to get that, his mother said, okay, you approach the Lord will give you. Right? So, kamo sarvo kamo va. Like whatever, even if you have some lusty desire, you can approach the Lord. If you don't have any desire, you can approach the Lord. For anything, you can approach the Lord. But approach the Lord, not anybody else. Because only the Lord can fulfill all your desire rather than approaching any demigod. So Dhruva had that intense anger, and then he met Narad Muni in the forest. So Narad Muni told him a very beautiful thing. Um, Actually, he told that if you want to be peaceful in your life, you have to follow these three things. It is for us also, that instruction. We have to be fulfilled. If we do not want that anger to completely devour us, if we want to be satisfied, and if we want to be peaceful, there are three things which you have to do. First is, we have to appreciate those who are our superiors. When we see them, when we meet them, we have to be extremely happy. Second is that when we are meeting anybody who is junior to us, or who is not so advanced, or who is lacking those devotional qualities, what we have to do? We have to be compassionate towards them. Third is that if when we meet our equals means who is equal like you, like who has similar devotional qualities like you, what do? We have to become friends with them, or we have to have that affection for them. So when we have these three things, we will see that when we are dealing with people in these three ways, we will see that we are very, very peaceful in our dealings with others. Now, this anger, how did he control the anger? So, what happened is that he was so angry that after even getting the instruction, what Narad Muni told, Narad Muni, after giving this instruction, also he was taking, since he was a Kshatriya, he was telling, this is not what is going to help me. I want something which I have come, and this particular dealings is not going to help me. I really want the kingdom. I really want the kingdom greater than what my great grandfather had. So finally, Narad Muni said, okay, do one thing, since you are so agitated and nothing is able to, pacify you. So now you chant the mantra. So mantra means what? Man means what? Mind. Tra means what? Which is tra means one which is able to deliver you from these kind of troublesome things which are which troubles the mind, like the anger and lust and all. If we want to get rid of all those things, then we have to chant the mantra. And then what happens? The famous mantra which Narad Muni gives to Dhruva Maharaj is Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. And now he starts chanting the mantra. And when he starts chanting the mantra, he could have darshan of the Lord in 6 months. So what was the reason? There were two reasons. First thing is that he had a great faith on his spiritual master. Second thing is that he was very sincere. So it is, and he was doing everything, whatever his spiritual master does. So spiritual master told him. So for us also, there are three things which is very important. First of all, intensity in our sadhana. Whatever the chanting we are doing or whatever the reading we are doing, we do with utmost care and we do it very sincerely. The intensity should be there. And then second is a consistency in our seva. That is important. And third thing what is important is that intensity in our sadhana, and second is that consistency in our seva, and third is that sensitivity in dealing with others. When we deal with others, we should not speak in such a way that agitates their mind. Right? Most of the time we speak in such a way without even thinking what will be the consequence. Right? We just want to speak, so we will speak. Most of the time we speak. We don't understand. We are not sensitive towards others' feelings. We may tell anything and tell that, oh, I just simply said. It came to my mind and I said simply. We have to understand what we speak, it has a great impact on the hearer. And without even thinking once also, if we start speaking, so that is very insensible. It is not proper. So while speaking, we have to be very careful of how we are speaking. So yes, so these are some of the things which we have to apply it in our life so that our mind remains unagitated. So what happened is that when he started chanting the holy names, then the Lord came in touch with him. What happened? The Lord appeared, and the Lord's conch shell, when the Dhruva Maharaj, it touched Dhruva Maharaj, said he became completely purified. So similarly, for us in this age, if we want to come in touch with the Lord, the easiest method which is available is that the chanting of the holy names, that is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So just by chanting the holy names, we can come in touch with Krishna, and what will happen? We will get completely purified. Right? So in order to control anger or in order to transform anger, we have to chant the holy names of the Lord. So there are two things. In order to transform lust to love, we have to spiritualize our senses. And in order to come out of the anger, what we have to do? We have to chant the holy names of the Lord. These are the simple and easiest formula which we have in this age. Just by taking up to the chanting of the holy names and eating Krishna Prasadam, we can completely get rid of from these two enemies, which are our biggest enemies for the living entities. That is lust and, and anger. So with this, I will stop here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. If anybody has any doubts, any comments, any realization, please kindly share. It will be helpful for me. So no doubts. Any learning which you want to take from today's session? Anybody would like to share your learning? No learning. Nobody has any learning.
Mataji, I like this one that you told that I want to practically apply is intensity, consistency, and sensitivity. Like these three things I want to practically imbibe in.
Thank you, Ashmita. Anybody else? Jivika, Narmada, and
Mataji,
Shivaranj. Yeah.
I
Yes.
learned that we have to constantly try to serve the Lord and engage our senses in serving Him so that we can tolerate our material desires.
Thank you, Jivika. Haribala has written how to intensify our chanting. Wandering of the mind is constant problem while chanting. Yeah, that's true for everybody. That wandering of the mind is there. But yes, the solution is there in the Bhagavad Gita itself. When Krishna told that you have to control your mind, it will come in the future verses. And Krishna tells that, oh, controlling the mind is so difficult. Mind is even more stronger than that of the wind. So Arjuna tells, how can I control the mind? Mind is even stronger than the wind. How will I control my mind? What are you speaking, Krishna? And then Krishna tells that, yes, you can control your mind by two things. First of all, abhyas. Abhyasena yuktena. So you have to always, whenever the mind is wandering, wherever it is wandering, bring it back. Second thing is that if we want to chant properly, there are few things which I learned recently. First thing is that external cleanliness. Cleanliness is like, I mean to say that you can see that where you are chanting, which place you are chanting, how favorable is that environment. Second thing is that chant in a group, like we are doing group chanting in the morning. So some three, four of us, we come together every single day in the morning and we chant. So when you do that group chanting, even that is helpful because everybody is chanting, you get inspiration. Third is that you can always remember the meaning. Actually, that's what Srila many like I have heard from His Holiness Bhamni Swami Maharaj. He tells that when you are chanting, we should focus on the meaning. What is the meaning? Oh Krishna, oh Radha, please engage me in your service. And what Srila Prabhupada tells, if you want to intensify your chanting, you want to bring your mind, then actually Prabhupada tells where from the mind is coming while chanting. There is no question of mind coming when we are chanting. Why? Because we just have to hear what we are chanting. If you just practice it, Haribala, it will be immensely helpful. Just hear. Don't think of anything else. Just hear what you chant. Actually, maximum issue happens when we are not hearing our chanting. So you can just hear what you are chanting. So one beats which you are rolling down, just hear that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, does it answer, Haribala, your question?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Anybody else? Any realization or any comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Not only our actions, but how much the transforming our intention is very important. And we have to intend it towards the spiritualizing of all over our senses. It's very important. That's what I learned about it.
Thank you, Mageshwari. That is a beautiful point. Yes, our intentions has to be purified. What we are doing, why we are doing, that is more important. Yes, Shivaranjani wanted to tell something.
Yes, Mataji, that was covered by Maheshwari Mataji. Like how the things or activities are spiritual, but then how I've made it a ritual. So, by meditating before I'm doing what I'm doing, like offering boga, I can meditate and then cook. I can like little bit more be conscious of it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you everybody for joining today. Thank you for giving an opportunity to speak. So we'll wind up here today the session. Thank you and looking forward for the next session. Okay, what? Hare Krishna.